Cyclone Cody is almost upon us, bringing huge swells and pain in the pocket for tourist operators. Novak Djokovic loses another match with Australia's immigration. We've got the latest from Melbourne. And we've kept Omicron at bay for another day, but why are some Aussies trying to catch it on purpose at COVID parties? Kia ora, good evening. There's been another tragedy in the water even before Cyclone Cody is involved. One of a group of 3 divers has drowned at Goat Island, a popular tourist spot north of Auckland. Emergency services performed CPR, but the diver couldn't be saved. Another incident at a beach just south of Auckland saw a woman taken to hospital in a critical condition after a jet ski accident. It came as warnings went out up and down the east coast to expect dangerous swells from Cyclone Cody. Well, Ed O'Driscoll joins us live from Auckland's helicopter rescue base, and Ed, Cody's still something to be taken very seriously.
It's certainly packing a punch, Mitch. Waves of a whopping 7 metres were reported up in the Bay of Islands this morning, and coastal communities are being warned that even bigger waves could still be on the way. It might look like fun and games, but Cyclone Cody is still a force to be reckoned with. Mega waves of 7 metres arrived in the Bay of Islands today. Fears about those very conditions forced many fishing charters to cancel a weekend's worth of clients. A huge financial hit, but the right decision.
For me, safety is paramount on my boat. You've got to be comfortable, you've got to have an enjoyable day out there. If you can't enjoy it, why be out there?
The warnings were no deterrent for these swimmers venturing into the surf further south at Waipu. Lifeguards on the east coast of the North Island on extra high alert, with dangerous waves and swells moving as south as Wairarapa over the coming days.
Strong currents, strong rips will be formed with this large surf this weekend and into early next week.
This map shows what's happening, the colour red indicating the biggest waves.
That 7 metre mark could be about the highest that we'll see, but there could still be those rogue waves that get even larger.
With the death toll on our beaches alarmingly high this summer, the public's being asked to be vigilant near the water.
Especially your young ones around the coast, there's going to be some big sweepers up the beach. So really keeping an eye on your children all the time.
The impact of Cody on land will likely not be as bad as expected. The centre of the cyclone is tracking east, moving away from New Zealand.
That is going to be good news in terms of lessening the effects of severe weather, but bad news for those drier parts around the North Island that were hoping for a little top up to the water tanks.
The East Cape will bear the brunt of whatever Cyclone Cody throws our way, with heavy rain and strong wind forecast on Monday. But it's the large waves being seen here already that could cause the most damage.
OK, Ed, how long are we going to have to worry about Cyclone Cody for?
Well, the biggest risk for those large waves for Northland down to Bay of Plenty is from today until Monday, and then from Gisborne down to Wairarapa it's from tomorrow until Tuesday. So if you're planning a summer dip over the next few days, it might be worth waiting a little bit longer for Cyclone Cody to pass.
Ed O'Driscoll live from Mechanics Bay in Auckland. Ed, thank you. The scoreboard at the Australian Open now reads Advantage ScoMo. Novak Djokovic has been detained a second time by immigration officials, with his visa again cancelled by the Australian government. Deportation awaits unless he comes up with an ace in the morning. Australia correspondent Emma Cropper reports from Melbourne.
As if he knew what was to come, Novak Djokovic moved forward his Friday practice on court. But the government was timing its shots perfectly too for the main evening news.
Just moments ago, the Immigration Minister has cancelled Novak Djokovic's visa.
The Immigration Minister taking 5 days to rule that Djokovic's presence may pose a risk to the Australian community and foster an anti-vaccination sentiment. That Djokovic has shown a disregard for the need to isolate, and his high-profile status and position as a role model, plus his ongoing presence in Australia, may foster similar disregard. Australia's Prime Minister backed the decision, but Serbia's accused him of using the world number 1 to get re-elected. Why do you mistreat him and make fun of him, he said. Not only him, but also his family and an entire nation that is free and proud. Today, the player himself was never seen, detained and watched over by Border Force with his lawyers. But playing in Sydney, Sir Andy Murray said a final decision must be made quickly.
It just seems like it's dragged on for quite a long time now, and yeah, not great for the tennis, not great for the Australian Open, not great for Novak.
Djokovic will fight for his freedom one final time on the eve of the Australian Open. Tonight, Novak Djokovic is being held in detention, ready to face a court here in Melbourne tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. local time. Now, Mitch, his legal team are likely to centre their arguments around the reasoning from their minister that if they allowed Djokovic to stay here in Australia, he could incite an anti-vax sentiment here in Australia. However, they're likely to argue that by kicking him out, they've done the exact opposite and drawn more attention to the issue. Now, win, he can stay in Australia and pursue his 21st Grand Slam to be named the greatest male tennis player of all time. Lose, he has just hours to get out of Australia, won't be allowed to return for 3 years.
Back home in Auckland, MIQ worker has been infected with COVID-19. It's not yet known how they caught it, but experts warn that's exactly how Omicron is likely to make its way into the community. And as Anna Bracewell-Worrell reports, an anti-vaccination group could be handed an invoice for holding an unapproved protest on council grounds.
New Zealand has gone from this in November. Today, cases rose sharply, 206, our highest ever, to a tenth of that today, just 29 new community cases. But just as we appear to be getting on top of the Delta outbreak, an MIQ worker has contracted COVID-19. It could be the start of the next outbreak.
Today could be the day, it could be tomorrow, it could be next week, but this is how it's going to happen.
Investigations are underway into how the worker caught it and whether it's Omicron. But as the variant rages overseas, it's presumed to be what's filling our MIQ hotels.
Because it's definitely coming, we're not going to stop it.
So, best prepare.
For those people who aren't vaccinated yet, go get vaccinated because Omicron's going to get you otherwise. Number two, if you are vaccinated, go get triple vaccinated.
Rod Jackson also recommends making sure you have good masks like N95s and getting children vaccinated when 5 to 11s become eligible on Monday. And it's that rollout of the paediatric vaccine that saw protesters gather at the Manukau Sports Bowl in South Auckland today. The organisers attempted to get around COVID regulations by fencing off groups of 50, the maximum currently permitted without vaccine passes. Those efforts perhaps undermined by chats over the fence, followed by a march that completely abandoned any pretence of 50-person bubbles. Auckland Council didn't permit the protest, which was held on their grounds. They'll be deciding on Monday whether to invoice the organisers for any damages incurred. The group already has a $14,000 fine to pay, issued by Christchurch City Council for breaching bylaws and for the cost of providing traffic management. Anna Bracewell-Worrell, News Hub.
Australians are trying a new tactic against the virus, deliberately getting themselves infected by throwing what they call COVID parties. New South Wales today recorded almost 50,000 new cases, and Victoria had over 25,000, with over 1,000 of them now in hospital. Bill Hogan from Channel 7 has the story.
Hugging strangers, sipping people's drinks. It's everything we've been told not to do, but this Melbourne bride-to-be is well aware of what's at stake. Catching COVID is the aim of the game. Recovering before the big day is the goal.
A little bit disrespectful to the people who are suffering. This is serious. It's not a game.
The idea of getting COVID to get it out of the way is spreading. In fact, COVID parties are reportedly happening behind closed doors.
You're taking your life in your hands when you're willing to do that.
Despite it being a mild variant, it's proven to still be deadly.
I would hate to have a situation where people were knowingly exposing themselves to any COVID virus.
If you're thinking about having one of those parties, don't have one.
But after 2 years of lockdowns, breakdowns, death and despair, many don't need to be told.
It's pretty silly, I feel like the immunity only lasts for a month anyway.
You just don't really know how it's going to hit you or how hard.
Experts say that intentionally trying to catch COVID for the antibodies is not a safe alternative to the jab. In fact, the official advice from ATAGI is to get a booster shot as soon as you have recovered from an infection.
The protection you get from being vaccinated is much greater than the protection you get from recovering from infection.
A big gamble with very little to gain.
Meanwhile, Australian researchers have identified the exact molecules in the body that may cause the condition known as long COVID. Scientists in Sydney found that when infected with COVID, our bodies produce proteins called interferons to help fight off the virus. They generally disappear after the infection clears, but in patients with long COVID, they remain abnormally high for up to 8 months, indicating the immune system is still switched on. The discovery may pave the way for new treatments to help those suffering from the condition. Britain's Prime Minister has launched what looks like a last-ditch attempt to save his job. It's called Operation Save Big Dog, but it's already in trouble. A poll for the Independent newspaper found 70% of voters want him gone, and almost as many don't think his apology for lockdown parties is sincere. Kethiki Masalamani reports.
More embarrassment for Boris Johnson. These lookalikes were calling for his resignation outside Downing Street after revelations of more parties at Number 10 during lockdown. Many Britons want him gone.
He's been exposed as a fraud, as a liar, and I think the British public have kind of had enough, really.
Unsurprised, disappointed, let down.
It was an iconic image that spoke not only of the Queen's pain, but an entire nation that had mourned tens of thousands of loved ones alone during lockdown. As the Queen prepared for Prince Philip's funeral, Downing Street staff wheeled in a suitcase of wine into Number 10 for parties that included music and dancing. In a statement, the Prime Minister's office confessed it is deeply regrettable that this took place at a time of national mourning, and Number 10 has apologised to the palace. But it's not just the Queen who adhered to restrictions flouted by the government. Fran Hall's husband Steve died of COVID in 2020, just 3 weeks after their wedding. For most of his time in hospital, she couldn't be with him.
While people like me were sitting on their own, while I was at the graveside where Steve was buried and I couldn't have people hug me, we didn't have a reception after his funeral. We all went back home on our own, and they drank and partied and had a DJ in the basement.
So has the time come for Boris Johnson to resign?
No. I mean, these stories are terrible. And I can completely understand the sense of exasperation and anger that people feel, completely. But we've got an investigation going on now.
And with reports of at least 12 parties at Downing Street during lockdowns, that investigation could absolve Boris Johnson or see him forced out of the office where so much illegal partying took place. Kethiki Masalamani, News Hub.
The woman who's accused Prince Andrew of sexual assault says the decision to allow her civil lawsuit to go ahead will give her the opportunity to expose the truth. Virginia Giuffre claims she was trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein to have sex with the Duke when she was 17. Allegations he has always strenuously denied. After a US judge ruled the case should go ahead, the Queen stripped her son of his military titles and royal patronages, and now the City of York is calling for him to lose the dukedom title as well. Ukrainian officials say the Russians have attacked, but it's a cyber strike, not an armed invasion. It took down 70 government websites and was most likely the work of Russian hackers, according to Kiev. It follows a week-long diplomatic push by the United States, which failed to stop Russia massing more than 100,000 troops along the Ukrainian border. Margaret Brennan from CBS has the latest.
As Russia conducts military exercises on the Ukrainian border, U.S. intelligence revealed today that Russia has pre-positioned operatives trained in urban warfare and explosives to carry out acts of sabotage on its own pro-Russian fighters in eastern Ukraine.
We have information that they've pre-positioned a group of operatives to conduct what we call a false flag operation, an operation designed to look like an attack on them, again, as an excuse to go in.
Adding to the tensions, a massive cyber attack that took down 70 Ukrainian government sites overnight. Ukraine's security service said initial signs pointed to Russian intelligence. Those hackers left behind an ominous message: be afraid and expect the worst. U.S. and Ukrainian officials tell CBS News that the Kremlin is actively preparing the battlefield by using information warfare.
They want to create confusion. They want to make sure that
the Ukrainian government, the military is guessing, that they're constantly searching for answers to lead to that fog of war and ideally give the Russian military room to maneuver and operate without a response from the Ukrainians. So
the hacking came just hours after a week-long diplomatic push failed to change Vladimir Putin's behavior. He has more than 100,000 Russian troops at Ukraine's border poised to invade.
It is certainly the case that the threat of military invasion is high.
With cyber attacks expected to continue, the U.S. has sent cybersecurity teams to Ukraine
to ensure that they can withstand that first hit by the Russians should they invade.
Well, Heather's here now with a recap of today's weather, and Heather, Cyclone Cody is on its way.
Yeah, Raoul Island, which lies about halfway between New Zealand and Tonga, collected 50 millimetres of rain today, and that's because Cyclone Cody is passing near it. In contrast, we had a very, very dry day in New Zealand, Whitianga recording the most rain of only 2.4 millimetres. The wind is starting to pick up, and I'll have those rain and wind watches after sport.
Thank you, Heather. Well, Kiwis are flocking to the South Island's west coast for a summer holiday, but there's a problem. Many businesses are facing crippling staffing shortages. The man who tortured thousands during Syria's civil war is now in jail himself after a tip-off from a former prisoner. And gorillas, coffins and staples, which bomb was judged the best at the Far North's Best Bomb competition?
Tonight's family movie is Sherlock Gnomes. Then, are you the exception or the rule? Jennifer Aniston leads a star-studded cast in He's Just Not That Into You. And stream The Men Who Sold the World Cup only on 3 Now.
A fiver goes a long way with BK's $5 meals. $5 for the creamy mayo cheeseburger meal, the barbecue rodeo meal, and the crispy chicken meal. Add a sundae or nugs for an extra $2. More flamin' good deals, only at BK.
Hi, I'm Martin Cooper from Harcourt's Cooper & Co. The North Shore, what a great place to live. We live in it, we love it, and we know it very well. So tell us what you're looking for, and we'll help you find it. Why would you want to live anywhere else?
Shop Harvey Norman for great furniture deals. Get in store for great deals on barbecues, outdoor furniture, outdoor umbrellas and more. Plus get a bonus gift card up to $500 on interest-free purchases. On now at Harvey Norman.
Get the pre-loved car you're looking for.
With rates starting from a super low 6.99% fixed per annum, a GEM secured car loan is the savvy way to get your perfect new or used car. Visit GEM online and check your rate today.
Carpet Court's big summer flooring sale is here, with big savings on selected carpet and hard flooring, including up to 25% off Rhino carpet, plus no payments and no interest for 18 months. Big summer flooring sale on now at Carpet Court.
If it's 4 months since your second shot, it's now time to get your COVID-19 booster. With new variants like Omicron, we've reduced the time you need to wait for a booster from 6 to 4 months. Getting a booster is the best way to protect yourself, your whānau and your community. Find your nearest walk-in or drive-through vaccination centre today at covid19.govt.nz or call 0800 28 29 26.
Make magic and create your instant summer this weekend with quality homewares at unbeatable prices from Briscoes, where there's 15 to 50% off store-wide. Fire it up with 40 to 50% off all gas barbecues and accessories. There's up to 50% off all outdoor furniture settings, and all glass tumblers and sets are now half price. Settle in and enjoy the warmer evenings with Briscoes in Sunday.
OMG! The MG event is now on, and there's never been a better time to buy. With an all-new 7-year warranty with roadside assist and great drive-away prices across the range. Test drive an MG today.
Warning, hot take. Hating pineapple because everyone else does not make you cool. What does is trying the new Big Hawaiian Burger with its char-grilled pineapple, streaky bacon, and your choice of either beef or chicken. Aloha. Carl's Jr., it's good.
Get your outdoor project sorted at Maida 10. Save $40 on Accent 4-litre kitchen and bathroom paint. Grab 8 litres of Wattle Forest Wood deck and furniture oil for $92.98 or save $70 on this Orbital sander. Big range, low price, local advice. Only at Maida 10.
Dukes of Hazzard, Monday on 3 and 3 Now.
Tauti mai anō, welcome back. Welcome back. A tsunami warning is in place for all of Tonga after the eruption of a volcano in the island group within the last half hour. Authorities say residents should head to higher ground, warning possible tsunami waves, ash shards and ash clouds could impact the island of Tongatapu. We have just received these pictures of wave surges which show waves entering properties and covering roads. Businesses on the South Island's west coast are now desperately trying to recruit workers. The area is facing critical labour shortages across many sectors, with those workers who are there facing burnout from the strain. Holly Henry reports.
Rita Costin loves the sparkle of a newly cleaned window. But unable to recruit staff, she's spending far too much time at the squeegee end rather than growing her business.
It's really tough at the moment. I don't know why. It's a really good job what we offer, but we just don't seem to be getting the calibre of staff coming through.
It's meant a reduction in potential earnings and a backlog of work to catch up on.
Extremely frustrating. We want to grow, we want to expand, and we can't.
In Greymouth, Olivia Monk's cafe and restaurant Seven Penny is known for its freshly baked goods. But she too is struggling to find the staff to keep the ovens going.
It's so hard. You can be waiting months to fill a gap sometimes from when someone leaves to when your replacement comes through.
Putting the pressure on Olivia and her current staff to take on extra shifts.
It's hot, people are stressed, they're tired, and it just, it's not that fun to be working in hospitality when it's like that. We like to make our work environment a fun place to be.
Mayor Bruce Smith has a solution.
The first place to start is those Kiwis that are offshore. They've got a New Zealand passport, double vaxxed. For heaven's sake, let them come home. They're all skilled. They're plasterers, they're sparkies, they're engineers, they're chefs. They're exactly the sort of people that we need.
While others are hoping views like these could help prompt a rush even sooner.
Well, come to the coast. We've got ample opportunities here, and we are seeing some people come here for the lifestyle. A third of the average house price in New Zealand, and there's a lot of building going on here too. It's a great place to come. We're just looking for more both skilled and unskilled workers to come here.
With a demand that's never been higher. Holly Henry, News Hub.
Alec Baldwin has turned over his mobile phone to police investigating the fatal shooting on the set of his film Rust. Cinematographer Helena Hutchins was shot as the actor pointed a gun on the set of the Western in October last year. Santa Fe Sheriff's Office confirmed Baldwin had turned over his device to authorities after earlier reports he was not cooperating with the inquiry. Investigators believe the phone holds key conversations and text messages related to the incident. A chance encounter has led to a former Syrian jailer being convicted of crimes against humanity. The man was found guilty of torturing thousands of inmates at a prison in Damascus they nicknamed Hell on Earth. We must warn you, this report from ITV's Dan Rivers contains some distressing descriptions and images.
After a decade, Syria's conflict appears now to be a war Western powers no longer remember or care about. But those caught up in it will never forget or forgive those who perpetrated the worst crimes imaginable against their own people. Not just the attacks on entire cities of civilians, but the torture and killing of thousands of opponents of President Assad, whose grim fate was documented in hundreds of photos smuggled out of Damascus. This week, one of those responsible for torturing some 4,000 inmates in the notorious Al-Khatib prison finally faced justice. But Colonel Anwar Raslan was only here because he was spotted at a refugee camp in Germany by chance by one of his former prisoners. Anwar al-Bunni was here to see his former tormentor sentenced for crimes against humanity. A twist of fate and a chance encounter meant the jailer has finally become an inmate, tonight starting a life sentence in Germany.
The moment that you saw the colonel in Germany,
Tell me what happened.
I didn't recognize him that times. I know this guy, but I didn't remember his name. Second time I saw him in the near the camp. Third time I saw him shopping in Berlin. I will not forgive, but I don't need revenge. I need justice, for not just for me. I need justice for all the victims in Syria.
Maimouna Al-Ammar was also detained by Syria's security police while she was pregnant. Her videos of their bombed-out home and office explain why they had no choice but to flee and rebuild their life in Coventry. Her thoughts are never far from those left behind in Syria's prisons.
A lot of my relatives were arrested and tortured just for demanding freedom and dignity, including my father and mother. My only two brothers have been in detention for over 9 years now.
What does this verdict mean for you?
We consider it as a victory for tens of thousands of Syrian survivors of torture.
In a war which levelled cities, left perhaps 500,000 dead, it's easy to overlook those who disappeared into the regime's secret prisons. But this week's verdict is a first tentative step in holding to account those who tortured, raped and killed in the name of President Assad.
Well, Narelson later with sport. And Narelle, D-Day for Novak Djokovic is fast approaching.
Yeah, that's right, Mitch. With a decision looming over his visa, Australian Open officials are preparing for what it could mean for the tournament. Details next. Plus, Liam Lawson returns to the track with a big announcement on the future of his racing career. And later, a second podium finish in as many days for Alice Robinson as she races towards the Beijing Olympics.
It's a Kiwi pastime many of us have indulged in. Now, performing a great bomb can win you a gong. So, who claimed the Far North's best? And a letter sent from Germany just after World War II finally arrives in the US. The contents might leave you in tears.
Summoned from the depths of hell as a weapon, turned into a force for good.
Hey! I'm on your side! My bad.
Hellboy, Tuesday on 3 and 3 now.
X gon' give it to you. Wait for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door, it's real. With the Wicked Box from KFC. Save like a boss.
Connect smarter with Noel Ming. These Jabra Elite 3 wireless headphones, 98. This Lenovo 11-inch Chromebook, 345. Or get a bonus Find X3 Lite with $799 with this Oppo phone on a Vodafone $60 pay monthly plan. Available at Noel Ming.
This year, something big, red and jolly is coming to town.
Shouldn't we try to hide him or something?
It's New York. No one will even notice.
Really?
Clifford the Big Red Dog, coming soon.
4, 3, 2, 1.
You can find lots of things when you book a holiday house on Book a Batch. Even each other. Your together awaits. Find it on Book a Batch.
Shop Harvey Norman Bedding with all sizes for the single price on selected King Coil beds and mattresses. That's right, all sizes for the single price, including Californian King. Plus bonus gift card up to $500 on interest-free purchases. Only at Harvey Norman.
The Nick Scali January sale is on now. Our biggest sale of the year with savings up to 40% across a huge range of quality furniture. The Nick Scali January sale on now.
You get your guaranteed savings. You get an hour free power.
Every day.
You don't have any contract.
But you probably already knew that.
Huh? We're Electric Kiwi. Your independent power company. It wouldn't be summer without the song, right?
We're Electric Kiwi. We would love for you to join us.
Ready for a change? Get the look you want at a price you can afford. Paint it yours. Accent Paint and Prime. Available at Mitre 10 and Hammer Hardware.
Domino's Pizza and Cheese Toasty. A deliciously cheesy duet. Cheese Toasty crust, $2.50 extra at Domino's.
Everyone needs a good workmate, someone to help carry the load. A crack of dawn riser, a get stuck in it. Never complaining, always performing, whatever the conditions. Carrying their weight and then some. Dependable, tough, smart, hard-working, and a lot of fun. We're proud to be New Zealand's favourite workmate. Ford, the #1 light commercial heavyweights.
Get more for less this summer with The Warehouse. There's a sizzling 30% off Gascraft gas barbecues, buy one get one half price on sleeping bags, and hit the beach with these kids' hooded towels for $10. Hurry for hot summer deals at The Warehouse.
In an extra special room reveal, a dazzling new benchmark for luxury living and dining.
Wow.
The show-stopping sunken lounge.
Pretty much am in heaven right now.
Skylights of wonder.
Wow.
And deluxe family living.
It feels like the perfect family space.
It does.
Rooms so good, it's anyone's game. Brought to you by Carpet Court, The Block Australia, Sunday at 7 on 3 and 3 Now.
Tauti mai anō, welcome back. Gorillas, coffins, staples and the manu are all different styles of the great Kiwi tradition of bombing. Some of Northland's best were honoured yesterday at the inaugural Far Far North bombing comp of Pukenui Wharf. Ruani Pereira has all the action.
There are a few essential ingredients to making the perfect Kiwi summer. And hanging out with your mates, nailing bombs off the wharf, for these guys, life doesn't get much better. The only thing that could top it is a competition to find the best bomber in the Far Far North.
So there's 3 styles, there's manus, staples and gorillas, and you just do as many as you want.
Organiser Jason Hakaria came up with the idea to inject some fun into a community that's needed a bit of a boost lately.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough up here in the far north, but you know, this is something, I guess, on a positive note that that everyone can enjoy. And, you know, there's not a lot happening for our young ones up here in the far north at this time of the year. So it's just something that they can all get involved in.
Have you been training for this?
Oh, nah, just jumped in. Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Some big manus out there.
Competitive bombing as a spectator sport is pretty cool. The weather's great. The crowd is awesome. The one downside, though, is that you get pretty wet. It's the height of the splash that's under scrutiny. Judge Aaron Cowie came back home in 2020 after 12 years in Washington, D.C., and he's missed this fun whānau time.
It's a great thing for the community, and yeah, just families hanging out together and doing what they normally do anyway in the summertime.
Contestants ranged in ages and of all various levels of skill, the talent pool coming from all over the district. Do you think this is going to put Pukenui on the map?
Pukenui's already on the map.
Jason hopes this is the first competition of what will be an annual event.
Overall, we've got a Far Far North best bomber overall, R5.
After all, now there's a top bomber to beat. Ruani Pereira, News Hub.
Well, officials can't explain how it happened, but a letter sent from Germany just after World War II had ended has finally been delivered to the United States. Both the sender and receiver are now dead, but the woman who finally opened the envelope could not believe the memories it brought back. Here's Patrick Burns from Channel 7 with the story.
1945, the end of World War II, and American GI John Gonzalez writes a letter home. All these decades on, it's finally been delivered.
Imagine that. 76 years.
Angelina married John years after the letter was penned.
I couldn't believe it, and then just his handwriting and everything, you know, it was just so amazing.
The 22-year-old sergeant gave a glimpse of life stationed in Germany.
It says, "Dear Mum, received another letter from you today and was happy to hear that everything is okay. As far as the food, it's pretty lousy." At the end, he said, "Love and kisses, your son, Joni. I'll be seeing you soon, I hope," which I thought was wonderful.
And while John died 6 years ago, his words have brought back wonderful memories of their 61 years of marriage.
It's like he came back to me, you know, really. That was amazing.
3/4 of a century late, but timeless.
Auckland film fans rejoice after suffering the cancellation of the New Zealand Film Festival due to COVID-19. A new festival is back in town. What cinematic delights await?
Novak Djokovic's visa debacle continues. We'll tell you what tomorrow's outcome could mean for the tournament. Plus, Kiwi ace Liam Lawson announces a shock move ahead of this year's Formula 2 championship. And the Silver Ferns prepare to go head-to-head with 3 of the top netballing nations just 6 months out from the Commonwealth Games.
Why did they even invent caller ID? If a guy doesn't call me, I would like to preserve the right to call him at 15-minute intervals until he picks up. But, you know, if he looks down and sees my numbers, he's gonna think I'm some kind of psycho or something. Which I'm not.
Yes! X gon' give it to you. Wait for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door, it's real. With the
Wicked Box from KFC. Save like a boss.
Harvey Norman is your destination for big brand TVs, audio and home appliances. Renovating or updating your kitchen? Check out our range of ovens, cooktops, range hoods, refrigeration and dishwashers. Showcase your laundry with our great range of washing machines and dryers. Huge deals on TVs and audio, like this Samsung 60-inch 4K Smart TV, just $12.88. And huge deals on small appliances, like this DeLonghi coffee machine, $6.99. Plus bonus gift card up to $500 on interest-free purchases at Harvey Norman.
Go! Yeah, I hated watching the game with mates because the Ashley and Martin adverts would come on and they'd always be like, is it time for your turning point, Tay-Tay?
Make today your turning point, and the doctors at Ashley and Martin could help regrow your hair.
Beaches, sport in the big backyard. There's nothing stopping you from getting out there this year. And Rebel's got the gear to make the most of it. Explore the wet outdoors with 30% off all bodyboards, wetsuits, masks, snorkels, fins and sets. Get back to nature with 30% off all camping equipment and accessories. Smash one past the boundary with 20% off all cricket clothing and shoes. And save 20% off all Under Armour and Puma clothing, accessories and shoes. Plus store-wide savings. End Sunday at Rebel Sport.
Big summer savings now on at Curtain Studio. Get 20 to 50% off ready-made curtains, blinds and more, plus 50% off making and lining on custom line curtains and 50% off custom outlet blinds. Shop these great offers and more only at Curtain Studio.
With WW's all-new Personal Points program, no two plans are alike because no two people are alike.
So live the life you love. Lose the weight you want.
Join WW's Personal Points program today for 50% off at www.com.
At Mitre 10, we don't let price stand in the way of getting what you need. So if you find a lower price for the same in-stock product available elsewhere, we'll beat it by 15%. That's our low price guarantee. Big range, low price, local advice, only at Mitre 10.
During the Nick Scali January sale, the Tropea dining table was $25.90, now $15.50. Save 40%, now $15.50. The Nick Scali January sale on now.
Around here we ain't afraid of nothing, dancing like no one sees. Discover the freedom you could get with a reverse mortgage from Heartland. It's time to get the most out of your retirement. Heartland Reverse Mortgages.
It's the last days of BB&B's Summer Splash Sale, now with further reductions. These duvet covers now $49, 60% off all beach towels, and Estelle robes now only $30. Lots more in-store and online at Bed Bath & Beyond.
What makes our San Francisco sourdough so delicious? We hand stretch it for a lighter, crispier and tastier base. Beat that. Pizza Hut. Taste always wins.
Climb into adventure with Suzuki Jimny and Newshub Sport.
World tennis #1 Novak Djokovic is facing another night of uncertainty in a Melbourne detention hotel as he awaits a second court hearing tomorrow. Until then, it's unknown whether the 9-time Australian Open champion will be allowed to remain in the country to defend his title, and that's causing all sorts of headaches for tournament officials. Emma Cropper is in Melbourne.
This is a very messy situation, and Tennis Australia are yet to issue their order of play. If the defending champion is still here, he will face fellow Serb Miomir Kekmanovic for his opening match either on Monday or Tuesday. If not, the draw will reshuffle. The 5th seed will take Djokovic's place in the tournament. Now, Djokovic has just had 3 days free here in Australia to train on the Rod Laver court. Today and tomorrow, he has been a detainee, fighting his battle to stay here. These days are usually filled with hype and excitement before the tournament begins. Instead, they have been focused on one player.
Liam Lawson has unveiled his plans for the season, announcing he's leaving Hi-Tech to race for Carlin in this year's Formula 2 Championship. It comes as the 19-year-old returned to the track today, driving on home soil in New Zealand's quickest single-seater. Gordon Finlater has more.
Liam Lawson back in New Zealand and back behind the wheel. The Kiwi making noise at home after making plenty of noise in his maiden F2 season, which saw him win on debut and go on to impress in his first ever Formula 1 test.
I think the first radio call I gave back to the team was, man, this thing's fast.
Almost as fast as the Kiwi-built Roden FZ Lawson is driving at Cromwell's Highlands Motorsport Park this weekend.
I've done very cool ones this year. I did Monaco. It was very special, a track that I've dreamed of racing since I was a kid, but as a fun factor, this track is on another level to anything.
Roden Cars are one of Lawson's major sponsors, helping to drive his Formula 1 dream. And this year, that journey will see him switch F2 teams from Hi-Tech to Carlin, who finished 3rd in the Constructors' title in 2021.
I'm able to take sort of what I had from another team into this team, plus what they're teaching me, and it's all positive for this year.
Another positive is that Lawson will have greater involvement with the Red Bull F1 team this year, learning from the likes of world champion Max Verstappen.
Even from that one day in the car, it's so different. The way you approach things, how the car works, how you have to drive it, it's a lot different. It doesn't really compare.
For now, though, Lawson will continue his craft at home, taking the Roden on tour. He'll be looking to break lap records at Ruapuna next weekend, then on to Hampton Downs next month. Gordon Findlater, News Hub.
White Ferns captain Sophie Devine's ready to fire for the Wellington Blaze after returning home from a successful stint in the Australian Women's Big Bash. Devine captained the Perth Scorchers to their maiden title in November before securing a spot in managed isolation. The 32-year-old's focus now switches to the Super Smash before leading the White Ferns in a home World Cup in March.
World Cup at home don't come around very often. It's certainly a once-in-a-career opportunity. So we're starting to talk about really savouring that opportunity and embracing it and making sure that we take a step back to enjoy it for what it is, but also knowing that we want to be there, at Hagley Oval, lifting the trophy at the end of it.
New Zealand's first game is against the West Indies in Mount Maunganui. England have lost an early wicket in Hobart after Australia were bowled out for 303 in their first innings of the 5th and final Ashes Test. Aussie batsman Travis Head seized control last night, taking advantage of some lacklustre bowling from England, scoring his 2nd century of the series.
That is brilliant. The war will tell you it's an innings should go a long way to see a better one. Stunning century.
The tourists were made to work hard for their wickets this afternoon, with Nathan Lyon piling on 31 runs before he and Australia were eventually bowled out.
Bowled him. Finally, they clean it up. Stuart Broad does it. Good innings from Nathan Lyon. And the Aussies all out for 303.
England opener Rory Burns was run out for a duck, with the visitors 25 for 1 a short time ago. Well, in less than 12 hours' time, the Northern Quad Series will kick off for the first time since the pandemic began, and the Silver Ferns are using it to rebuild their confidence heading into this year's Commonwealth Games. The team will face Trans-Tasman rivals Australia in the first round tomorrow morning, and as Natasha Payne reports, the team is confident they're the most prepared they've been in months.
The Silver Ferns blowing off the last of the cobwebs before the long-awaited Quad Series begins. It's the first time since COVID-19 took hold that 4 of the very best netballing nations have gone head-to-head.
This Quad Series is a great
opportunity to eye each other up.
But that's not the only reason they're there. Coming off a home series defeat to England in September, the team is determined to right the wrongs.
And that's it, the final whistle in the Cadbury Netball Series.
These experiences that we're going to have out on court is definitely going to set us up for the learnings that we need to do.
Building confidence is also a key for returning mums Phoenix Karakara and Kayla Johnson, who have been out of the game for some time.
Both of them have done a lot of work over the Christmas break, and they've been performing quite well. So I think the next step for both of them is actually getting out on court.
Along with the rest of the squad, who Tauroa says are in peak condition, even to her standards.
We're really happy as to how they presented themselves, our current numbers at the moment, and know that we will foot it physically against the opposition. So tick in that regard.
In what will be the last chance to make a statement before the gold medal goes on the line. Natasha Payne, News Hub.
Finally tonight, Kiwi skier Alice Robinson has secured her second podium finish in as many days at the European Cup downhill event in France. The 20-year-old has finished second, just 0.46 of a second behind the winner. Robinson only made her debut at the event yesterday, where she also claimed silver. She's now heading to Austria to compete in the Super G World Cup race overnight. Impressive stuff, and hopefully she can do more of the same, or actually even better in Austria. That's your sport match.
Let's hope so. Thank you very much, Narelle. Well, let's now return to our developing story about the tsunami alert in Tonga that's followed the eruption of a volcano there in the last half an hour or so. Edward O'Driscoll has been finding out the latest information. He joins us now live from our Auckland newsroom. Ed, what more do we know?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, Mitch, very recently people reported online that they'd heard this underwater volcano erupting, and now a tsunami alert is in place for all of Tonga. Now, video just posted onto Twitter shows wave after wave actually coming in from the ocean and breaching the shoreline there. We've also seen photos online as well of ash raining from the sky and dark clouds completely covering the area. We've actually just spoken to a local journalist in the area who said she can't actually see anything in the area at the moment because it is so dark. Now, this volcano was actually first active on the 20th of December last year, but it was actually declared dormant earlier this week, but then yesterday it erupted again, and then obviously there's been an eruption there this evening. So very interesting in terms of the timelines there. We haven't actually heard anything yet from our local civil defence in terms of what this means for New Zealand, whether a tsunami alert will be put in place for New Zealand at all, but hopefully they will put out something soon. But just to recover, we have seen videos sent in to the newsroom of wave after wave coming in following that eruption over in Tonga.
Edward O'Driscoll live from our Auckland newsroom, just recapping that a tsunami alert is in place for all of Tonga this evening. A very difficult situation. We will have updates on our website, newshub.co.nz. Well, moving on now, among the many reasons Aucklanders had to whinge, moan and weep during the great lockdown of 2021 was the cancellation of the New Zealand Film Festival in Tamaki Makaurau. So a group of committed film lovers took it upon themselves to ease that pain, launching an Auckland Summer Film Festival full of all those awards-baiting films that we missed. Here's Kate Roger.
Praise be, film lovers. An excuse to escape the heat, help to banish the being back at work blues and indulge in some seriously Oscar-baiting international cinema. This is a brand new film festival for Tamaki Makaurau, enticingly entitled In the Shade. And look what's in store.
Are you in contact with the Beyond?
Well, we've had our share of snake charmers in the past. We deal with them.
Opening night this Wednesday sees the New Zealand premiere of Guillermo del Toro's deliciously star-studded spookfest, Nightmare Alley.
If you displease the right people, the world closes in on you very, very fast.
This is one of just two ways you can cinematically savour the delights of Bradley Cooper during this festival. The other, while almost a cameo, is worth the ticket price alone to see the brilliant Licorice Pizza.
Barbra Streisand.
Sand.
Sand, yeah, like sands, like the ocean, like beaches.
Barbra Streisand?
No, like Streisand.
Sand.
A performance nominated for a SAG Award alongside breakout roles for the two newcomer leads. There are just too many reasons to feast on Licorice Pizza, especially on the big screen. Joaquin Phoenix trades in the Joker for a more restrained, nuanced role in Mike Mills' film Come On, Come On. Black and white and full of colour and life.
And when the time comes to return to your star, it may be hard to say goodbye to that strangely beautiful world.
Building up speed on a highway paved with Oscars buzz Japanese film Drive My Car also features in the festival. This film was a huge winner at Cannes last year. It's a critical darling and an award season favourite. And for documentary lovers, something entirely different, an animated documentary called Flea.
Vi flygtede med menneskesmuglere. Det værste mennesker i mit liv.
To check out these films and so many more on offer, and to book your festival tickets, head to intheshade.co.nz to book. At the New Zealand box office this week, there is just no stopping the global Spidey juggernaut. Spider-Man No Way Home is still king.
Hello, Peter.
Kate Roger, News Hub.
Well, coming up, News Hub weather, and where will Cyclone Cody deliver the most rain and wind, Heather?
Well, at this stage, it's the Gisborne and the Wairoa district that will receive heavy rainfall with a rain watch in place from 3 a.m. Monday through till midnight. South to southeast winds may approach severe gale force in exposed places at times, with a strong wind watch in place for the Bay of Plenty east of Whakatane and Gisborne north of Tolaga Bay. Your full forecast is next.
Make the switch with Suzuki Swift Hybrid and News Hub Sport. Do you have what it takes to outfox an elite trekking force? We're looking for adventurous teams of 2 to run, hide and survive in New Zealand's extreme landscape. Beat the trekkers and win the cash. Apply now.
Order for Ben?
No. Nah, yes, I'm Ben.
Make your everyday easier with ASB, helping you get one step ahead.
Your boss is taking the office cricket match seriously? That's out. What are you going to do? 3 times the protection for those high-pressure moments. Rexona Clinical.
We've got storage solutions at tidy prices.
Cube storage unit, $76. 50-litre recycled container, $7.50.
Where you find a competitor's lower price on the same stocked item, we'll beat it by 15%. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Just go and talk to her. No, I can't go empty-handed. Hey, just want to say thanks for saving my life.
Oh, thank you.
Something so true is what I get from you.
What up? I'm Jack Johnson from Morrinsville. Shaka. Skinny will do anything to keep prices low and customers happy this summer. Yeah. Get free endless data weekends every weekend for every Skinny customer on a $16 or above plan. All summer long. Get the Skinny.
The Hunter Home summer sale is on now with at least 25% off everything. Save $1,500 on the Demi Corner Chase, 30% off the versatile Bowie range, plus get 24 months interest free. Get at least 25% off everything only at Hunter Home.
Super Cheap Autos catalogue sale on now. Get a massive 40% off these engine oils. And Club Plus members get this camp card for $89.99.
I'm keeping our prices cut and lean so your savings can stay in shape this summer. You can do it, buddy. Come on. Oh, yes. Wow, Malcolm, that is some serious definition. Our policy, New Zealand's lowest food prices.
Farmers Furniture Super Deals are on now. The Max Sofa, $1,499. Zara with electric recliner, $1,999. Olsen with chaise, $1,499. And the Peyton only, $1,399. All available for delivery now. Farmers, your department store.
Studies show that being overweight can impair your immune system. So there's no better time than now to be healthy. Be strong. Be whatever you want to be. OptiSlim has your back. With delicious shakes, bars and soups, the OptiSlim weight loss range can help you take back control of your body, lose weight, improve your immune system and be your version of better. Available from these leading retailers.
Sunday on CRC Motorsport, we're at iconic Bathurst with the thrilling V8 Super 2s. Then the best battle it out in round 5 of the FIM Speedway Grand Prix. And flex with the best in all-new Muscle Garage. Your motorsport here on 3.
Oh, garden! They've disappeared. They're all gone!
It'll take a ceramic saviour.
I'm Sherlock now.
To crack this case.
Oh, good. You stopped talking.
It's time to go big.
I'm a master of disguise.
Good doggy! Good doggy!
Or go gnome.
Oof, that was super cheesy.
Sherlock Gnomes, up next on 3. What?
If the weather ruffles your feathers, there's nothing more comforting than a roof over your head. Tomorrow's forecast brought to you by Latitude Homes, where Kiwis find comfort.
Kia ora, welcome back. We're starting to see the impacts of Cyclone Cody as it tracks off the east coast of the North Island. Fortunately, the high is holding steady over the South Island tomorrow, but as Cyclone Cody gets closer, the squeeze starts and the winds rise to gale for the northeast. So tonight remains fine for Te Waiponamu, the South Island, with coastal cloud around Dunedin and Christchurch. Tomorrow will be fine for the mainland after morning cloud clears along the coast. Isolated showers pop up inland in the afternoon with light winds. Te Ika a Maui, the North Island, and showers overnight for Gisborne, Hawke's Bay and from the Coromandel to East Northland. Tomorrow, those regions remain under cloud with showers also. Mainly fine elsewhere, hot from Auckland to Wanganui and southeasterly winds rising to gale force about East Cape by tomorrow night. To the regions, and partly cloudy here with showers in the morning and afternoon in Northland. Showers clear in the afternoon for Whitianga and gusty southeasterlies expected in Auckland and Coromandel. It's partly cloudy for most here with clear skies in Tokoroa, southeasterly winds for all and warming to 27 degrees along the coastline. Mostly cloudy for the east coast tomorrow with showers for Gisborne and Hawke's Bay all day, southeasterlies for Gisborne and easterlies for Hawke's Bay and also Dannevirke. And gorgeous and hot for the rest of the island with afternoon south to southwesterly winds, southerlies about Wellington City and 29 the high for Taumarunui. Now over Te Moana, Orokawa, Cook Strait, and the fine weather continues down the west coast with some morning and evening fog in Reefton, light winds and highs of 22 along the coast. It'll be a chilly night for Blenheim, but mainly fine down here tomorrow. Some morning cloud for Christchurch and Timaru, which burns off, and 24 the high for Ashburton. Morning low cloud for the deep south, which clears away to a fine and hot afternoon. Light winds, 27 expected in Invercargill and 30 for Alexandra. So nor'easterlies tonight for Ōtepoti, Dunedin, with a mainly fine day tomorrow. Isolated showers pop up inland in the afternoon and evening with nor'easters and 23 the high. Low cloud tonight for Ōtautahi, Christchurch, with that cloud burning off tomorrow morning with nor'easterlies and clear skies in the afternoon and a high of 22. Fine with southerlies tonight in Te Whanganui, Aotearoa, Wellington. Similar tomorrow with fine weather and southerlies around the CBD, 28 the high in Lower Hutt. Showers about the ranges tonight in Te Mātua, Maui, Hawke's Bay with easterlies. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy with a few showers, easterlies and a high of 24 for Napier. Fine with gusty easterlies tonight in Tauranga. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with southeasterlies and a high of 28 for Waihi. A fine and very hot day tomorrow for Hamilton. Southeasterly winds with clear skies and a high of 30 for the entire Waikato region. And hot north too for Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland. A fine day with a high of 29 for the CBD. Gusty southeasterlies expected though with showers for Great Barrier Island. Now, it's mainly fine across Australia, but showers pop up over Alice Springs and a few storms up in Darwin. And rain and showers from Vanuatu to Samoa, fine from New Caledonia to Rarotonga. So back home, most of us will be all back at work on Monday, and that'll be quite hard to do in the north with sunny and warm days next week. As expected, Monday will be a wet and windy day for Gisborne with strong gale southerlies for all in the east on Monday. Rain clears on Tuesday for Gisborne and Hawke's Bay. More warm weather for the rest of the north, but partly cloudy for all by Wednesday. Early in the week looks good here, but rain develops on Wednesday in the west with heavy falls expected. And Monday will just be partly cloudy here, but showers arrive on Tuesday and it's wet and windy on Wednesday for most. So it looks like most of the north will escape the rain from Cyclone Cody, but the storm surge has already arrived, as seen here on the Coromandel Peninsula today. And the wind will be strong, so do keep up to date with the latest from the Met Service, especially if you're near the coast.
Thank you very much, Heather. And that is News Hub Live at 6 for tonight. I'm Mitch McCann. From us, good night.